还没出海就断线了，我看是会了。我看就是我们看极光，你们去睡觉了。
Oh yeah, there is. Oh, sorry, just going down there looking at something.
怎么办？
I don't know why he did that.
Maybe she not.
Here, Luke, put your other glove on.
Before every light turns on.
没有，现在不是用外哥，现在是用我的4G 网络。
那你干嘛不带外哥下来？
外哥今天一直怪怪的。我在那个市场的时候，有把它开机放口袋，然后逛一下之后它就关机了。生气了。船开出去之后可能就会断线了，只能让你们看一下船上的样子。最多人，全世界都是人。差不多是我在台湾的睡觉时间了，累了。旁边带小楼的妈妈是英国人吗？这我不知道哎。
是啊，
是英国人吗？啊，是。这样就听得出来是英国人了。有去买手工毛帽了吗？我没有买，但是你要使有买。要使的这个就是羊毛的，跟头盔一样。
Oh, they put the northern lights.
Yeah, because they're up north. Look how often Santa sees them. Santa will see them most nights in his house.
去了哪些地方逛？今天就稍微再走一下商店街，然后买一些纪念品。因为今天天气还不错，所以就想说再多走一下市区。明天你要是晚上要去那个音乐厅看戏，然后我就分开行动啊，我就青年旅社看走出来可以走到哪里吧，随便晃一下，好不好？不用担心啦，单独行动一下子应该不会这么快就死掉了。不是啊，不会英文，我听得懂的比较多，但是我不会讲。啊，听得懂干就只要跟他说 OK 或 Yes 就好了。没有差啦，最后这几天没有 WiFi 就算了，因为我们买的是10G， 我们买的网络是就是流量是最大是要到10G， 然后我今天查了一下，我大概才用了1.3G， 所以最后几天应该也不用靠歪哥了，就靠我们自己的网络就可以了。本来打算把明天设定为 就是买纪念品的日子，结果我们今天就已经买的差不多了。还没有看到极光，钱就已经花了极光了。旅馆名片带在身上也不用啦，我知道地址在哪，随便查一下。而且我是用走路的，又不会到处乱开，不会到太远，你顶多是走回去就好了。
穿这个外套好痒，不能抓。
对，我现在是，
可是我现在才发现你旁边坐一个正妹。
是吗？他是正妹吗？
你是不是有点看得太明显了？
啊？
你是不是有点看得太明显？
什么看得太明显？
我说你刚刚是不是有点看得太明显了？
不会啊，他根本没有转向这边。
你刚刚直接这样子。
啊，说不定是你跟我讲说那边有东西，我转过去看。
怎么样？
是不是？反正他听不懂。
等下他就直接点你肩膀，然后这样，干你啊，鸡歪耶！
那我就跟他说，抱歉，抱歉。干不行啊，不能有观众瞧，他现在根本就不想转过来。
很正哎，这个鼻子
很屌吗？
鼻子很挺哎，欠舔。
鼻子很挺的人到处都是啊。
没有，台湾没有啊。台湾都是，
可是这里到处都是、啊。
台湾都是小时候一生出来就直接一拳打在鼻子上，鼻子都扁。
没有，我以前流鼻水我都这样一直抹，所以整个鼻子都不见了。
好正啊！快点开船哦！
观众的礼物哦，我还真的不知道观众礼物要买什么。好像没有一些特别的小东西可以买。我现在买了就一些明信片，然后火山岩，火山岩是可以吃的那种，就是有掺，应该他们做成盐巴啦，然后有掺一些香料，然后一些他们这边的那什么，那是花蜜嘛？
对，
那是花蜜，所以也买了一些，然后火山岩的串珠手环啊，我还买了什么啊？
你为什么要离自己那么近？
因为我不想拍到别人啊。
没差，你是故意拍的。
然后还有什么？哦，鱼子酱牙膏也买了，然后一罐的鱼子酱也买了，但是没有买太多，因为我钱已经挤光了。
拿有点没关系。
因为我怕讲话他们听不到、啊。
哦，听得到吧？收音那么烂，
说不定收音超烂的、啊，因为这边声音很多。
应该不会，应该不是。
但我们很想看你的鼻孔，没有问题。那就拿这样子好了。
那我要看隔壁正妹的鼻孔。
那我也要看。你他妈的才是看得太明显了。
我是在看那边哦，我刚刚在看后面的那个烟囱哦。
你刚刚是转头，然后眼睛还这样子。
漂亮的东西就是要拿来看的啊！我在节骨沙龙也一直看啊，是不是？
好，
觉得很漂亮，风景很漂亮，我也一直看啊。
盐巴烛台，我没看到有这种东西吗？
不是盐巴吧？是火山岩吧？
是火山岩吧？
火山岩
哦。
火山岩烛台有啊，很多啊。
哦。还有什么鱼子酱牙膏？牙膏我现在就买了5条而已，
很多了啦，
很多了啊。大不了就最后还剩下钱的话，就再买一点牙膏。 因为现在我们还没买的东西有冰岛空气，冰岛空气我应该不会买太多，应该尬个3-4罐就差不多了。
超多罐的好吗
？3-4罐也还好吧，我自己留1罐，然后有1罐是代买的，那也才多了1-2罐而已啊。然后还有要去泡蓝湖，要买一些火山泥的保养品，就这样。剩下要买的就这样子而已了。
好像还是蛮多的。
也才2个东西啊。哦，还有买冰岛的一些巧克力，巧克力这种东西就可以给你们的啊，这个我就没差了。反正巧克力回去就是李迅吃一口觉得不好吃，就给你们当礼物了。但是要先经过李迅吃过一口，尝过之后你们才可以吃。
那如果李迅说好棒，我要吃，
那他们就吃屎。你们就没。如果李迅说好棒哦，他想要吃的话，你们就没人吃了。
Yes, I know. No, but they've been.
而且我也买了1盒巧克力。我买了1盒巧克力要送给我家巷口的 Seven 的店员，因为他们好像每个人都知道我是谁，好，然后他们平常都对我很 nice， 所以我想说买个巧克力送给他们。
李迅出现了？
没有吧？
有啊，他说啊，不是啊，我想说，你如果觉得巧克力好吃，就不用给他们了啊。那我要转向了，
该出发了。哦，好，有星星嘞。
好，李迅快去睡吧。
Yeah. It doesn't matter if he wakes up, but I just thought I'd. And it's too short.
Except he would see it.
哎，好像该出发了，快要9点了。
该出发了。
出航喽！看，直接指明要看小妹妹。
这不是小妹妹，
我跟你讲，
小弟弟。
不是，刚刚那边有一个小妹妹啊。
他是说我们对面这个一直在讲话，对吧？
没有啦，他刚刚是说这边这个英国腔的。
我们对面这是一家4口就是英国人了。
哦。这个是小弟弟，可是我旁边好像有一个小妹妹，但是那个真的太小了，那个已经是小婴儿妹妹了，她是被抱在怀里的那种啊，那个你不行吧？你应该不行吧？我会一直有一个东西掉出来，这到底是什么？
衣服上面的哨子啊，
就是我落海的时候要吹的那个吗？对。那我现在吹会怎样？
我就会直接装不认识你，然后接下来几天你就自己想办法。反正我们就是31号，31号11点前机场集合就对了。
啊，我还没有车这样，我还要自己想办法过去。哦 ，OK。哦。该出航了
我觉得我们好像不用穿他们的外套。
有些人没穿啊。
对啊，我们其实穿我们自己的就好了。
不好意思，请问是大陆打过来了吗？
大陆打不到这么远。
大陆打不到那么远是不是？
我让穿我们自己的就好了。
可是椅子湿的啊，穿他的也好了。
可是现在已经做到不湿了。
那你现在换啊？
麻烦。想要穿他们的，我们还要拿一件外套在手上。
看，我们刚来之前去吃拉面，还遇到2个大陆人，还被他们插队。干，可恶！而且我是去吃一间拉面，然后其实我们都觉得还不错，就还蛮好吃的。其实后面的大陆人讲说，日本的食物也不太好吃嘛，干你啊！被抓小！
想吃日本食物，跟我去日本吃哦！
你他妈的来这边吃拉面，
跑来冰岛吃拉面，然后说日本东西不好吃，
他妈的！好多鸟，
那是海鸥，
就是算鸟啊，不行吗？就要叫海鸥。好，
你看到猫熊，你也不会说有熊。
对 ，OK， 是海鸥。现在居缩到几公分？现在还是蛮正常状态，因为这件衣服真的太暖了。这件衣服真的是他妈的很暖。是感觉鼻子有一点快要缩进去了。
我靠，对面那条船超多人。
塞满满，
可我们这条其实也很多，
我们这艘也蛮多的，只是我们一直坐着。
哦，风吹过来，脸好冰哦。
几点出航？照理来说，现在应该要出航，可能有点 delay 吧。反正先跟各位说一下，如果等一下出航之后啊要出发了，如果等一下出去之后断线，大家就快点去睡觉了，因为100%开不可能再开得起来了。
不一定啊，不一定啊，
应该是一定的，因为现在是用我的网络，
可能讯号不稳而已啊。
好。那我就再 try 一 try， 不行的。
如果有看到极光的话，就再 try 一下这样。
如果有极光出现了，我们就再 try 一下。如果真的不行就算了。反正你们去睡觉，隔天起来看有 VOD 还是可以补看一下。
没有啊，你如果没有要开也不会有 VOD 啊。
我是说他们可以直接去睡觉，如果等它断的话，就是如果我还有在开，还有 VOD 可以看。不是要出发了？
哇，好冰哦，风吹到脸上好冰哦，
真的，天哪！那个光是那个小岛，
应该是对啊，那个河滨。
你戴这个真的好像戴安全帽。
这种帽子超舒服。
现在耳朵是舒服的吗？ 怎么了？大陆又打过来了。
出航喽！
那一艘是这样看得到吗？那一艘也是，隔壁那一艘也是要一起出发的这一艘船。
好多星星耶，
好黑哦！我们一来到黑暗的地方，就什么屁都看不到了。
好多星星。
Mum, we add 4 add 1. What does it mean?
我的脸要废掉了，
对，脸直接被吹成智障。
我脸要废了。
Does anyone know?
There's 3 and 1.
我脸真的要废了。
No, just not 4 and 4.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board the Andrea for tonight's Northern Lights by Boat Tour with Special Tours. My name is Jonathan, and I'm the guide for the tour this evening. I'd like to start by introducing our crew. Our captain tonight is Yon, our engineer is Haue, our first mate is Laurus, and also on the crew with us today are Amje and a guide in training named Tina. And it's our responsibility during this tour to make sure that everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience while on board. And since safety is always our priority, I'm going to go over safety first before anything else. In the event of an emergency, the gathering point will be outside on the top deck. We have plenty of safety equipment on board. We have 6 life rafts, and those can be found in white containers, 3 on either side of the top deck. We have plenty of life jackets on board, and those can be found in compartments above the tables, inside the boats on both levels, as well as in the white benches on the outer decks. We have a small motorboat on the back of our boat, which we can also use if the situation calls for it. And finally, we have 8 life rings scattered throughout the outside railings of the boat. And those life rings are to be used in the event of a man overboard situation. Special Tours has been in operation for 21 years now, and in those 21 years, we have never had a man overboard. We're very proud of that, so please don't mess it up for us tonight. But just in case it does happen, and there is always a first time for everything, I'm still going to go over the procedure. Just in case you see someone leaning a bit too far over the railing, maybe they want an up-close and personal experience with the Northern Lights, and you see them falling into the water, shout as loud and clear as you can, "Man overboard!" And keep your eyes and your fingers pointed at the person in the water at all times until they're safely back on board the boat. And if you happen to be standing near one of the orange life rings, please don't wait, just pick it up and throw it like a frisbee into the water near the person. Even if it's someone you don't like, well, just throw it anyway. It's cold in the water, about 6 to 8 degrees Celsius, and I'd rather you not experience that by going for a dip this evening. All children under the age of 12 are required by Icelandic law to wear a life jacket at all times during this tour. So if you're currently traveling with someone under the age of 12 who is not wearing a life jacket, then please come find one of us on the crew and we'll get you sorted out right away. So that covers safety on board. I'll next move on to comforts. I see that many of you are using our overalls, which is great. We have plenty of those for everyone, and those can be found towards the back of the boat on the lower deck. If you want to borrow one, please take your shoes off first, and also be mindful of what you put in the pockets. Just make sure that you take it out before the end of the tour, so nothing is left behind in there. We have a cafeteria on board on the middle level, and that will be open throughout the tour. We serve a variety of snacks and drinks, both alcoholic and otherwise. And finally, we have 6 restrooms on board. There's 4 on the lower deck, the same level that you came
我
in
是觉得
through.
没差，就2个
There's
小时而
one
已。
on the middle deck, the same level as the cafeteria,
反正
and
就
there's
穿
one more on the upper deck, the same level as the captain's wheelhouse. And you can always feel free to move around the boat at all times during this tour. During this tour, which will last between 2 and 3 hours, we'll be sailing out into a fjord called Kotlafjordur in search of the Northern Lights. Now, the Northern Lights are a completely natural phenomenon that we have no control over, which means that there is a possibility that we won't be seeing them this evening, but that being said, the chances of that are quite low. The sky looks amazing for us at the moment, with very few clouds, if any, and so the conditions are nice and clear for seeing the auroras tonight, hopefully.
这边是晚上的音
It
乐
usually
厅。
takes us about 20 minutes or so to reach a part of the fjord that's dark enough and away from the city lights so that we can enjoy the northern lights when and if they happen. And while we're on the way, we'll be trying to keep the outside areas of the boat as dark as possible. And that's so that we can preserve our night vision. We want to keep the boat as dark as possible because we want to let our eyes adjust to the darkness. And so for that reason, we want to ask all of our passengers to please turn the flashes off from your phones and your cameras. And that's so important that I'm going to ask you again, if you have a phone with you, if you have a camera with you, please check the settings now and make sure that the flash is set to off. Not auto off, because if the flash does go, then it will be very bright, very blinding, and it will absolutely disrupt your night vision and that of those around you. So please be kind to your fellow passengers and keep those cameras flashes turned off. So during this tour, I'll be giving you information about the Northern Lights, as well as some myths and legends from around the world about the lights. And while we're on the way out, I can tell you a bit about the science behind them. The Northern Lights are also known as the Aurora Borealis, and they were given that name by the astronomer Galileo in the year 1619. He named them after Aurora, the Roman goddess of dawn, and Boreas, a Greek word that means the north wind.
到完全黑的地方，你们就是真的什么屁都看不到了。
But what are the Northern Lights? What causes them? Well, there are actually tons of tiny cosmic collisions happening way above our heads. Our sun, 150 million kilometers away, is constantly putting out charged particles, protons, electrons, and alpha particles that are collectively known as solar wind. That solar wind is always varying in speed and direction and intensity. That all depends on where on the sun the solar wind comes from. And just so happens that sometimes that solar wind comes in the direction of Earth. And when it does, it takes about 40 hours for it to reach us, on average. And when the solar wind reaches us, then the charged particles collide with gas molecules in the highest layers of our atmosphere, called the ionosphere. And if you think back to science class, the two most common elements in our atmosphere are nitrogen and oxygen. And it's when the charged particles collide with those gas molecules that something special happens. It causes those gas molecules to become excited or ionized. And when that happens, they start to slowly fall down through the upper layers of our atmosphere. And as they fall, they emit light. And that light is the Northern Lights. Northern Lights can come in many different colors. The most common color by far is a light green. That's caused by oxygen molecules becoming excited about 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Other colors, such as purple and blue, those are caused by nitrogen molecules at different layers. And finally, pink and red, those are caused by oxygen molecules much higher up, about 300 kilometers above the Earth's surface. So I know that many of you have brought cameras with you to try and take photos of the Northern Lights. And usually it's only possible to take photos of them if you have a camera such as a DSLR, like a Nikon or a Canon or similar. It's usually only possible to take photos of the northern lights with a cell phone if they are very bright, which we're of course hoping will be the case this evening. If you have a camera like a Canon or a Nikon and would like some help with the settings, the crew is happy to assist. If you're not familiar with the settings, then you can come find one of us and we can help get you set up. But if you do know how to use your camera and get the settings just right, then I'll let you know what the best settings to use.
你不是上次已经弄好了？
现在 ISO 12800，
So if you do
快门
have a
30
camera like that, then the first thing that you'll want to do is set it to manual mode. So there's a wheel at the top of your camera, and one of those options is for M for manual, and you'll want to set it to manual. Once that's done, you want to make sure the flash is turned off always. But you also want to set your ISO sensitivity or light sensitivity to usually as high as it can possibly go. 6,400 or higher is a good number to aim for. You also want to make sure that your shutter speed is set to around 1 to 1.5 seconds or so. That way you can let in more lights and get photos that will hopefully come out really nice. You also want to set your aperture or f-stop to the lowest that it can possibly go.
快门要多少？20秒吗？
Also, you want to be zoomed all the way out. If you have a zoom lens, it's no point in trying to zoom in on the northern lights because it doesn't come out very good like that. And finally, you want to make sure that your focal distance is set to infinity. And the easiest way to do that is by focusing on something that's very far away, like the lights that are in the distance. And
我的 ISO 是12800，会太高吗？还是要到6400？
So while we're on the way out, and we'll see what happens.
救命啊！出来之后也太冷了吧！冷哦。注意，我已经开始有点晕船了。
星星哎，不知道实况照开不得到？
我觉得拍不太到星星哎，或者说拍天空的话，完全是一片漆黑。
是的，没有错。
他们什么东西都看不到，黑一片。 只看那些荧幕上的灰。
船超晃啊！
其实也蛮晃的。你没有感受到船的晃动吗？我现在的手机是随着船在晃动的。
干晕了是不是？
干晕了啊！
太快了吧！
很容易晕哦。
那你可能要站着，站着看着远方，或者是跟着那个船的反方向
飘向北方。
就它往右边倾的时候，你人就往左边倾；往左边倾就往右边倾，感觉就比较正。
Look at that, Luke. See the stars.
Oh, I've got no idea how they can. That one, can you see it though? I can
Straight
actually
up
see it,
Ursula
I've never
Minor.
seen it.
Ursula Minor.
Ursa.
You can see Ursula the bear.
Ursa.
画面上真的是什么屁都看不到。
我觉得那个是了耶。
我觉得不是耶。你相机看得出来吗？
It's a good app, isn't it?
看来不是。
他说要开个20分钟才会离光害远一点。
对啊，
进入比较暗的地方。
You know, bent spoon.
哦，大概已经开始10分钟了。你们看得到这一条光吗？他现在啊？
这不是我外套，
这是你外套。那你的外套呢？
我不知道啊。
你先把它拿起来看看啊。是你的外套啦。
看你啊。
现在我画面的右前方有一条直射天际的光束，你们看得到它吗？如果你们连它都看不到的话，呵呵。
这是大野洋子为了纪念约翰·兰农建造的和平光塔。为了向世界和平致敬。
你们好像只看到黑黑一片，什么都没有。 你的光塔真可笑。现在冰岛的天顶有先王先后、天蝎，还有美美赢他妈的河。
真的不是他吗？
我是觉得不是啊，如果是的话，船长应该会讲。他应该会叫我们往哪个方向看，这样。
So it is still a bit faint, but there actually is some activity starting on the left side of the boat.
就他现在讲了，就是啊。
那个是极光。
On the left side, you can see.
我其实连我都有点看不出来。
And just above there, there's a very faint green band low to the horizon above that. So those are the northern lights.
就是啊，你看绿绿的。我大概10分钟前就看到了。
Look at for now, but they always have to start somewhere. So let's keep our eyes on it and we'll cross our fingers and hope for the best. But there they are.
是不是？就说了啊。
干，好猛哦，完全看不出来。
越来越亮了啊！一整条哎。干，超亮的啦！现在。
我现在是照着他们说有极光的地方，我现在是拍那边，但是你们好像什么屁都看不到，因为连我都有点看不太清楚了。
蛮清楚的吧？我觉得已经算清楚了。你看相机拍出来，
对啊，相机拍出来是绿绿一条啊。超黑耶，你们真的什么都看不到。我来对照一下，你们现在画面上看到左右有2个光点，它就在这2个光点的上方，就一整条。
好像很大一片。现在很亮了啊！
好像越来越清晰了耶。我受不了，我要去偷看别人的专业相机了。
不要紧张，我们还在慢慢往那边开呢。全部人都挤到左边去了，整个船都挤过去了。
真的，妈的，不要再挤过去了，我受不了了。
我的 ISO 12800到底 O 不 OK 啊？
你刚刚不是有去问吗？
他没有讲，他是叫我把快门调低而已。
哦。
好像变淡了。好像不见了。
极光不见了。
好像变淡了。
它是会喷一喷，然后就直接不见，然后等一下
可能在别的地方，
可能在别的地方喷这样子。
应该是吧，我也不知道。
不知道，需要极光小老师。好像有流星，我刚刚看到一个东西划过去。
超好，
可是我们的阿吉已经不见了。
阿吉已经消失了。
阿吉走了。完了，棍退费。还是有出来，
有出来一下子啊。看星星真的好多哦。
对啊。
有病哦。船长，阿吉找到阿吉哦，
给我们一位很棒的阿吉，好不好？
已经没有很棒的阿吉。
Seem like this band of northern lights has faded for now. But while we're waiting for these lights to come back, we can take a look at a different sort of lights off of our right side. So this tall white beam of lights off our right side, that's actually not where northern lights come from. What that is the Imagine Peace Tower. It's a monument to world peace as well as a memorial to the late Beatle John Lennon. That tall beam of light is coming from a white wishing well shaped sculpture that we can see lit up on an island just off the coast of Reykjavik. That wishing well was designed by Yoko Ono, the late Beatles' wife, and built on that island in 2007. And every year between October 9th and December 8th, every night, that light is lit up to coincide with the dates of John Lennon's birth and passing, respectively. That white wishing well has the words Imagine Peace engraved on it all around the outside in 24 languages. And underneath the sculpture are 1 million wishes written on small pieces of paper that Yoko Ono collected in the years leading up to the construction of that sculpture. Now you might think that Iceland, or an island just off the coast of Reykjavik, is an odd place to build this, but actually made a lot of sense to Yoko Ono. She wanted to choose a place in the world that best represented world peace. And what better than Iceland? For the past 7 or 8 years running, Iceland has been ranked the world's most peaceful country by the World Economic Forum. But she also wanted to choose a place in the world to build this where it would have the least possible impact on the environment. If this were built somewhere else in the world, that strong white beam of light might require fossil fuels to be lit up, but not here. here in Iceland, more than 99% of all energy is powered by clean, renewable resources. And this light is no different. It's actually entirely powered by green energy. So it has a minimal, if any, impact on the environment. And so that's also what led Yoko Ono to want to build it here.
他说这个想象和平之塔只有10月9号到12月8号会点灯，所以我们刚好遇到他点灯的时候。
哦，
他说是用来纪念约翰·兰农的生日跟死掉的日期。
哦，
然后它的周围有24种语言写的想象和平 ，Imagine Peace。里面有超过100万的纸条，上面写的各种愿望，是戴阳在建造、设计这个光塔的时候收集。
哦。
然后说戴阳在设计这个光塔的时候，他希望可以建造在一个真正可以代表世界和平的国家，所以他就选了冰岛。
哦，
因为冰岛在这7、8年来连续都被评为这个最和平的国家。
真的是很和平的。
然后他说，大野洋子也希望建造这个光塔能够找一个方式是对环境破坏最少的。
哦，
所以他就盖在这里，因为这个光要打得很大，然后打很久，也要在别的地方的话，可能就要耗掉非常多的能源。哦，但在这边就不用，因为99%的冰岛能源都是来自于地热，所以它这个也是地热发电，所以完全是自然的能源，没有任何破坏环境的能源这样。所以他们就把它盖在这里了。为什么跟我们一起出发的船跟我们开不同的方向？他们有什么阴谋？
干，
他们是不是发现了新的阿吉了？
他们可能是老船长啊。其实蛮晃的。
对啊，因为开很慢啊。看来我也有资格成为极光猎人。
没有，你不是极光猎人，
可是我很早就看到了。
你是皮包极光猎人。
没有，那是你。我很早就已经看到了。
好吧。
而且我现在又看到一个新的阿吉了。
你又看到阿吉了吗？
好像又飘出来一点点。
你要拍拍看吗？哎，我看你们是看不到阿吉了，画面上显示不出来，那你们就看着这一个月亮吧。 像又跑出来了。
我已经看到了。阿吉出来见客，阿吉。
有人闪光灯哎。
阿吉认出来了，阿吉认出来了。
阿吉真的好像要飙出来了。
越来越明显了。阿吉有点亮了，这个阿吉。
So it looks like the northern lights are starting to come back again. We have this faint green band close to the horizon, still above those orange lights there, off our left side and stretching towards the front. Still a bit faint though. We are hoping to see it a bit better.
这个船
But this
是
is
不
of
是要
course a
翻的？
natural
我也觉
phenomenon.
得好像摇的有点夸张哎。
But it can get brighter at any time.
好亮
哦，好，其实蛮亮的
对啊，
哎。
很亮的。
这个阿吉其实蛮大的。
这个阿吉厉害的。很像吉阿吉，很绿了。
哎呦，
阿吉出来哦，见客啊，阿吉。我们从台湾来的。
他已经出来了啊。
很远，可以喷过来一点啊。
看他喷不过来啦，没有这么会喷啊。你有跟聊天室一样啊？
可是这个阿吉好像又要走了，
又要喷完了。
他又要喷完了。那阿吉喷久一点哦，喷过来一点哦，喷在我脸上，拜托。
我也觉得这船已经要翻掉了，
对啊，
它已经斜到不可思议的地步了。它等一下再往左边再倾一点，所有人就会掉到左边去。
那我们就可以帮他们公司破纪录。他们说他们开21年到现在还没有任何人掉过水，等下就直接掉10个给他，等下直接左边21个。
这个阿吉是不是又跑出来了？阿吉好像要出来了，有点亮哎。
哦，有哎。船长转向了，看来最多就到这了。
对，最远，已经真的是蛮远的了。另外一艘船在那边。
他的相机拍好清楚，为什么我拍的都不清楚？为什么我的那么不清楚？
他的相机拍阿吉拍超清楚的。
For us now, but just the cameras are much more sensitive when it's this faint. But when it gets brighter, then.
为什么他相机那么清楚，我的不行？
吹到真的会爆炸、欸。阿吉是不是又跑出来了？
阿吉又出来了。
为什么只有那边会喷啊？他不是会乱喷吗？
我也不知道啊。
你的相机要上岸用脚架长曝才比较有机会，海上加海风慢快门很难。没有关系，我这边有一个脚架是给相机的，所以应该到时候可以吧。可是这边会晃，因为还是会晃，可能要到陆地上。
没有陆地啊。
阿吉又缩回去了，到底是
喷完了。
我们这次行程不是会上个岛什么的吗？我好像不是买那一个，那一个是另外一个行程。我这次买的行程是另外一个，它好像是会绕那一个岛，没有要上去。是光塔岛、啊，那我们这个行程应该就都在船上。
对啊，都是在船上的。
嗯，我的缩图跟没开台一样。干，可恶，手机都拍不出来。
Just took this photo of the northern lights as they are right now. So it is faint, but it is coming through here. It's just the camera can pick it up better for now when it's faint, but as they get brighter, then we'll be able to see it better with our own eyes. So that's what we're waiting for.
看来是冬天来比较有机会。永夜之后，日照只有4个小时，
就是狂看极光。干到最后只有船员是极光猎人啊！
真的。
用想象的没有错，用想象的就对了。现在想象这一片漆黑里面有一大堆的聚光往你们脸上喷，喷得满脸都是，这样就是当作是有看到聚光了。睡觉的晚安啊！我有办法，手机真的是无解，而且其实也没有很清楚，我们肉眼都有点看起来都有点淡淡的。 走上来就看到一个禁烟的标志，然后直接看到2个大陆人在抽烟。
可恶，害我也想抽。
好冷哦，怎么会这么冷啊？
because we're located very close to the northern geomagnetic pole. Whenever there is solar activity, there forms around each pole what's known as auroral ovals. And those ovals are where cosmic collisions are happening most, and there's the most auroras. And that's because when solar wind strikes the Earth, because our Earth is curved, the solar wind is curved around the Earth towards weak spots in our magnetic fields, which are above the North and South poles. And so because we're very close to the northern magnetic pole, we tend to see much more auroras at this latitude.
体温整个降低。
And it just so happens that Iceland happens to be in the auroral oval that's at the brightest part pretty much all the time. So that makes this a very good place to see the auroras. Not only are we here at the right place in the world, we're also here at the right time of year. Winter is the only time of year that you can see the auroras here in Iceland. But it's not because they only happen in winter. No, they actually happen all year round. And during the day, too. It's just that during winter, it's the only time of year that it gets dark at night. During the summer, it never gets dark at night. And so it's not possible to see the auroras. We're here at the right place in the world, we're here at the right time of year, and so we'll cross our fingers and
我的手
know we're here at the
我的
right
手快要
night.
冻伤了，
那你手套嘞？
手套，现在把它拿
So
出
then
来。
we have this
那你帮我盖一
beautiful
下手机。
night for stargazing, hundreds if not thousands of stars above us. Very, very clear skies. Not a cloud in sight.
好冷啊！
真的好冷。
喷出来而已。直接穿2件。
好，
妈的太麻烦了。又喷出来了阿吉，我看看阿吉。
真的耶，阿吉又喷出来了。看，那冰岛的网络真的有病。我们已经往海外开了1个小时了，我现在还是4G。他妈的，有病！不要说适合家里蹲了，连在海里蹲的都有网路了，我操！星星真的好多哦。现在照天上有没有看到很多星星？超多的，满天都是星星。然后阿吉有一点点喷出来。就在头顶一条淡淡白色带子。好像还没有看到。看不到，看来就是信仰不够了。储值 VIP 时就看得到了，还可以一键接受激光。这个是月亮没有错，因为你们只看得到月亮，月亮就是最友善的，不用订阅也看得到。 可以等整晚吗？还是有限制时间？它就是出航，然后直接应该到一个点稍微停下，直接回去吧。我觉得就大概2-3个小时。它上面写2个小时
2-3个小时。
哦，应该就是绕一圈回去吧，不可能让你等整个晚上，太久了。等整个晚上，船上人都要冻死了。
The formula for northern lights is a simple one. Solar wind plus gas in our atmosphere. And those conditions have been around for millions, if not billions of years. And so northern lights have been happening for a very long time. There are cave paintings 40,000 years old that anthropologists strongly believe depict the northern lights. And so for thousands of years, people around the world have looked up at this strange, amazing phenomenon and wondered about it.
哦，你们刚刚转一下是不是？
Long before science
我
could
的手
ever
机已经
explain
从
it,
4G 变
people
成
would come up with their own
3G 了。
explanations for it.
这个是另外一艘船。
In many cultures, the northern lights were said to be signs from the gods or the spirits of ancestors. In some cultures, the northern lights were said to be good luck. While in other cultures, the northern lights were said to be dangerous, that they should be avoided at all costs. One such culture was the Sami people, the native people of Scandinavia. Norway, Sweden, and Finland. They feared the northern lights. So much so that if they were ever caught outside when the lights were starting, they would take shelter wherever they could. In a house, under a boat, anywhere really, so they could avoid the danger. But if the Sami were ever caught outside, and there was nowhere to hide, then they had a way to defend themselves against the northern lights. They found out that if they clapped their hands as loud as they could actually scare the northern lights away. But somehow, they also found out that whistling would bring the lights closer and make them brighter. And so they taught people never to whistle the northern lights because, well, that would just be too dangerous. And they taught it to children as well, but of course, kids never listen. And so they would often dare each other to whistle the northern lights, bringing them closer and closer and closer until they almost got them. And then the last seconds, they would clap their hands as loud as they could and scare them away again. Now, we could see if the Sami were right. We could see if whistling actually brings the lights closer and makes them brighter. I hear a little bit of whistling, but that's probably not enough. It's a little better. There we go. That'll do
这
it.
是什么声音？
他说斯堪的纳维亚
Hey, if it's crazy and it
他们
works, then
以
it's
前
not crazy.
有一个传说是， 他们觉得极光是危险的，所以只要极光发生的时候，他们就会躲起来。然后他们后来发现，拍手拍得很大声的时候，极光就会消失。但是吹口哨的话，极光就会越来越近，越来越亮。然后他就开始吹口哨。
Waiting and whistling, and they'll get brighter. It's the 3 W's of Northern Lights hunting. See what happens.
吹起来，吹起来。好冷，快要睡着了。出航多久了？应该已经出航1个小时了吧？对，10点15了，应该已经出航1个小时了。一些飞，3想睡。刚我等下回去旅馆要直接爆睡，但是我回去的时候，应该其他室友都已经在那边睡觉了，这样我要怎么睡啊？除了我们2个以外，还有8个人呢， 救命啊！会不会我一睡着就直接被人家打醒？会死飞。船长都一直没有讲话，看来阿吉是暂时不会出现，只好来聊个天好了。明天我们好像没有预定什么行程了，已经不知道干嘛了。因为我们查了一下，明后天的天气都不怎么样。如果要往外面跑的话，也不知道去哪里，就只能留在市区里面了。可是明天晚上鸟屎要去看戏，他要在这边音乐厅看一出戏这样子。然后他说看完还会去附近的酒吧吧，那我就看要去哪里，我来思考一下，去哪里的存活几率比较高。蓝湖是后天，是30号的时候。因为我们31号的一大早要去搭飞机，所以我们决定在最后一天的下午左右。那30号的时候，蓝湖的票是只剩下6点的，然后它最晚是开到9点这样子。它没有限定你要待多久，但所以越早的票就越有，就是人家会先买走这样。那我们最后是只买到6点，所以就是6点的时候过去，然后9点收一收回来整理一下也差不多要睡了，隔天早上就要搭飞机这样子。Subway， 我们有吃过1次 Subway。哦，我们的船整个转向了，看来是准备要回去了。到蓝湖记得拍泳装美眉，看那也要有泳装美眉啊！我怎么觉得都会是中国大妈？温泉哦，啊，30号就要去泡蓝湖温泉了啊。要泡的话，应该就是在那个吧，市立的游泳池。God， 要干嘛啊？如果你要死开车去，我也只能在附近补练。可是你们知道热狗滩离我们的青年旅社有多远吗？补练可能要补个40分钟吧。但我补过去再补回来，鸟屎都已经看完戏要出来了。而且那个时间热狗滩已经收了，不好意思哦。热狗滩好像只到5点而已哦。还是我就待在房间认识其他的室友，这样子，然后还什么都不会讲。
Northern lights don't only happen in the north. They also happen in the south, where they're called the southern lights, or Aurora Australis. And whenever there is solar activity and we see northern lights appear, what people see in the south is actually an exact mirror image. So perhaps someone somewhere in Australia or Argentina is looking up to the sky and crossing their fingers, hoping for these lights to just get a little bit brighter.
我们下午到那个青年旅馆的时候，然后收一收东西放一放，准备要去超市嘛，然后就在公共区域，它公共区域很大，就有很多位置，然后就会有很多一些文青在那边用笔电啊，然后看书啊什么的，然后就看到一个老外在狂拔一个台湾妹，那一个女生应该是台湾人，然后他就一直用中文跟她讲话这样，然后好像是挪威人这样子。
You look up straight above us, more stars you can see. This seems to be getting clearer and clearer. Definitely no shortage of starlight tonight, so let's just hope for the other kind of lights.
看，不是啊，干嘛去救他？人家说不定很开心啊，被挪威人搭讪呢。那我们出来的时候还在就是公共区域，还有那个旅馆的门口看到纸条，就是有人写说他们是2个法国的女生，然后他们想要在30、31还有1号的时候往西北部那边去，然后他们就想要问看有没有人要一起去这样，但他们没有车。可惜1号我们就已经回国了。31号我们就搭飞机了，看来是不必了。 有什么好换的？他们就是要问说有没有人想要往那边去，然后他们就是要搭便车啊。我们之前从那个阿耶斯塔基开回来的时候，也有遇到想要搭便车的啊，在冰河湖那边。冰河湖一出发出来就看到一个女生，就是要搭便车这样。然后快要到维克那个小镇的时候，也看到一个人要搭便车啊。我们车子就只有2个位置啊。后面如果放行李箱的话，就是完全不用坐了。啊？
我帮你拿了晕船药，
真假的？
还有我买2杯热水。
哎呦，
对啊，很烫哦，干热水。
OK。
妈的，我外套掉了，你也不帮我捡一下？
我根本没发现啊。
管你欸！他说这个糖果是马上就可以止晕船，然后这边有个晕船药，他说是晕船药要半小时前吃才会有用，所以我2个都拿了。
哎呦，那我先吃糖果好了。
干，自己处理。
好。
那晕船药。
糖果有2颗哎，你要吃吗？你要吃吗？
我不用了，我超不晕船的。要给你。
是。
我还买了一片饼干，而且我忘记把拉链拉起来，我要冷死。
要半个小时前吃，那我等下吃也没用啊。
没有糖果，他说是可以直接。那个也是药。然后他说那个糖果像药的糖果可以直接吃，还马上有。你要茶包吗？我买2杯茶包。
没关系，我先喝热水好了。
干你啊！那我买茶包干嘛？
干，回去再喝嘛。
So it looks like the northern lights are coming back again a bit. This faint streak across the sky, low on the horizon off of our right side. You can see this large silhouette of a mountain off of our right side. This mountain is Asia. It's actually not just a mountain, it's a whole mountain range. And its highest point is 900 meters above sea level.
Excuse me, I'm sitting on something. Is it okay to sit here? But I don't want it to sit on your possessions.
See the lights.
Thank you.
Small town.
No, I wasn't. I was just saying I don't want it to sit on your jacket. Okay. Thank you.
Stretching over to the left, we can see a peninsula there called Kjalarnes. And just above that peninsula, where that white light is on land, we can see a very faint streak of northern lights.
Can't confuse you with nobody to see the other lights.
我听不懂他在说什么，但是他就这样坐在我旁边。然后他还在我旁边抽烟，干你啊！穿上禁烟。
Scotland to see the other lights. Trust me. Yeah, go to Scotland. You don't believe me? Swear to God. You're going to see him, but just don't listen to that operator. He's just talking shit. Where are you from, mate? This is true. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?
Taiwan.
Thailand? Scotland? Scotland? It's not happening, it's not happening. 哇，他的口音真的好重哦。他刚刚一
直问我从哪里来的，我真的听不懂，我真的他妈听不懂他在讲什么。不是，他一开始讲他的字全部连在一起，我还真的他妈听不懂。
So far from home, I cry of pain, but teased by longing heart. I miss you, Mom. I miss you, Dad. I'm falling apart. But when I look out my window to a winter's evening rain, I see the same sky you see at home. Somehow it's not the same. Yes, and I'm longing to get home. How I miss all your love and smiles. And know how the winter bites when you're so far away for so long, for far too long. Is my girl still there? Does she visit you? Is she still as pretty as ever? Does she ask for me? 'Cause I long for her, I need her more than ever. Oh, tell her it won't be long until I'm home to stay. And I won't ever go again. By her side I'll always stay. Yes, and I'm longing to get home. How I miss all her love and smiles. And know how the winter bites when you're so far away for so long, for far too long. Does she visit you? Oh. Anyway, happy days. Oh, Jesus. Way to move back.
我现在超级不想转头看他的，因为我不知道他是不是要跟我说话。
Okay, so if you look off of our right side, the boat's higher up in the sky again. They are getting brighter. All right.
哦，橘光出来了。哎，这个蛮大
It's
的。
getting brighter. Okay.
你拍，你拍。
Took long enough. So let's cross our fingers or whistle or whatever it takes. Let's get these lights brighter.
Oh, 哦，好亮哦！
Getting much brighter now behind the mountain.
.看来你们是看不到了，不过我们现在看得还蛮清楚的。对啊，很亮啊。
看聊天室啊，靠背啊。
干，我刚刚一直在看哈，我只是想。
again, but they are slowly but surely rising higher and higher. And we have these curtains that are dancing just a little bit. It's getting brighter again just below the Big Dipper off our right side.
滚了吗？他已经不知道去哪里了。刚刚大家在尖叫的时候，他就突然跑掉了。
Well, that was a nice display. It was short and sweet. Now the lights have calmed down again, and we still have that horizontal, just barely green streak. It is just mostly white to the eyes now, because it is fainter again. The Icelandic word for northern lights is Norðurljós, which translates directly to English as, well, northern lights. Here in Iceland, people had their own beliefs about the lights. Not so many stories from long ago survive until today, but there are still some legends that people remember. One belief here in Iceland was that the northern lights could ease the pain of childbirth. However, if a pregnant woman were to look at the northern lights, then her child would be born cross-eyed. Another belief was that the northern lights could be used to predict storms. And they are starting up again, above the mountain, on the right side. They believed that if the lights began to dance, then it meant a big storm was coming, and people had to prepare. Another belief was that if the lights were dancing and waving, then it meant a war was occurring somewhere else in the world. So let's keep our eyes on that bright spot just above the mountain. It seems to be spreading. Let's see what happens. Just one horizontal streak across the sky. Now we actually have two. It's split up into two parallel lines. So hopefully this activity continues to increase. It has definitely been a slow journey, but let's see. As we turn the boat now we're going to have the northern lights off of our left side, and they are continuing to get a bit brighter.
It's like a white cloud now, isn't it? It's mixing together the two lights. Huh? Metal bit just straight through there is quite bright. Nice if it was greener.
It's not bad. You see it on the other side of the moon.
暂时不看手机了，因为我已经快吐了，我有点躺着休息一下。
Nice to come on out and join us and have a look. into English as Northern Lights. No, it translates as foxfires. And that's because of an old legend in Finland that spoke of a giant Arctic fox that would run across the tundra, and its giant bushy tail would swipe against the tops of mountains, causing sparks to rise up into the sky. And those sparks, or foxfires, were said to be the Northern Lights. Another version of that legend said that when the fox would run across the tundra, then its tail would swipe against the snow, causing ice crystals to rise up, and those ice crystals would reflect sunlight. Those reflections were the Northern Lights. now plotted a course slowly but surely back towards the old harbor in Reykjavik, but we are going at a nice steady pace so we can enjoy these northern lights that we still have off of our right side while we're on the way back. And as we get closer to the city of Reykjavik and head closer and closer, heading past the imagined Peace Tower, again off of our left side, we'll be able to enjoy once again the city skyline at night. Seeing the city of Reykjavik from the sea is something that most visitors to Iceland never get to enjoy, so it's really nice to take it in while you can. And to check out this beautiful view of the hundreds or thousands of stars above us on the way back.
James.
The city of Reykjavik has an amazing history. It was first settled in the year 870 by a Norwegian explorer whose name was Ingólfur Arnarson. And when he sailed into the fjord that we're in now, the fjord of Kollafjörður, he asked the gods where he should create his settlement. And in accordance with Norse tradition, the way that he asked was he took apart his wooden chair, his throne that was on his boat, and he cast the pieces into the sea. And wherever the winds and waves would carry those pieces ashore, that's where he would need to create his settlement. And so that's what he did. And he followed those pieces ashore somewhere in front of us. And when he got closer to land, he could see steam rising from geothermal pools all around where the city is now. And he must have thought that all that steam looked a lot like smoke, because that inspired him to name his settlement and the future city what it's called today. Reykjavik means Smoky Bay. And Reykjavik has grown quite a lot over the past 1,150 years. And it's said that the location of Reykjavik in Iceland was chosen by the gods themselves.
睡要去楼下睡了，人家睡会感冒。去楼下睡了。
那里完全不缺德。
still out. They're behind us. They are slowly but surely fading. I am staying outside to keep an eye on them just in case. Ancient Sweden was one of the cultures where the northern lights were said to be good luck. And that's because fishermen believed the northern lights were reflections from schools of fish swimming far away in the sea. And they believed that if they saw the northern lights and followed them, then it would lead to those schools of fish and their next big catch, which would bring them great fortune. And in Denmark, legend spoke of swans that would hold competitions to see who could fly the farthest north. But swans who flew too far north, where it's too cold, ran the risk of having their wings frozen. And if that happened, they would have to flap their wings extra hard to shake the ice crystals off. And as the ice fell from their wings, they reflected sunlight, and it was believed that those reflections were the northern lights. During this tour, I've been taking photos of the northern lights, and on our other boat that went out this evening, the Lilja, we have another guide who is also taking photographs, and we always post our photos on our Facebook page to share with our passengers for free download. And if you got any photos for yourself that you're proud of, that you want to share with us, and we're always happy to see them.
有点醒
We're
了，
on Facebook
刚刚
as
是
well
真
as
的快要吐了。
Instagram and
刚刚我口水
TripAdvisor.
分泌的速度已经跟我喝水一样快了。我们差不多快要回到岸上了，然后我先把台关起来，然后把它收好。不，晚安了各位。